12 startups in 12 months. It's day 14, and a full recap of the previous 2 weeks is definitely called for. So what has been done over the last 2 weeks? The last 2 weeks has been kind of realizing the absolute abyss of lack of knowledge I have in the coding department, especially in front end, to get this app development, which is the main foundation for all these 12 startups. So it's a problem. And 2 weeks, I've only kind of increased my JavaScript knowledge, made a few websites, made a few animations. You can previously see in my 12 and 12 videos. But what needs to be done now is just speeding up the rate of learning, because if it's already 2 weeks in and supposedly I'm meant to complete idea 1, which is gamification, within the next 2 weeks. Is that possible? Who knows? So a little rejigging of this challenge might need to be done, but I'm planning on speeding up the learning curve and getting through the hurdle of learning to get to deployment and an MVP to just idea validate effectively. But a lot was said there. Let's break them down one by one. So the 12 startups, we've come to about 4 ideas. The first being, which is trying to be developed this month, is the gamification of the learning process, or the gamification of the accountability process when setting goals for oneself. So we always tell ourselves, our New Year's goals, okay, we're going to get this fit by this month. But how many people will stay accountable and actually achieve that? And that's where this kind of gamification process will come in and help. It will be fleshed out more in a little bit. The second idea is, what is the second idea? I actually don't know what the second idea is. The second idea, which is helping Crossways, which is a local charity foundation, where I went to one of the volunteering sessions and just heard about a few problems they have with the onboarding and kind of rota process of their volunteers, and hopefully making some sort of app-based system which can easily, without just mass emailing, easily notify staff members and volunteers of when they're allocated, when they're not, if they have to drop out, if they don't, and those sorts of things. Idea 3 is a morality development app, kind of self-explanatory, that one, but very, very nuanced, I would say. And 4 is going back to our e-commerce days, and it's helping out eBay sellers work with the eBay API, basically automating most of their sales process, fulfillment process potentially, and mainly order tracking, customer service, stock management, helping sellers with that. So that's idea 4, and the rest of the ideas are the future hurdles to overcome. There's the ideas, and then the next part is fleshing out idea 1. So gamification, what does that really entail? And through some initial research, I think the best things to integrate into the app is this thing called the Octalysis framework, which was invented by an individual called UK Chu. Invented this Octalysis framework, and it incorporates 8 core values, and they are an epic meaning or calling. I think this is kind of self-explanatory within the app. I hope that the goal is that epic call or meaning, and maybe I'll flesh it out even more by saying we all want to be better versions of ourselves. That's why we set goals, and every time we kind of don't hit the mark, i.e. don't be accountable for ourselves, we keep disappointing that better version of ourselves, which is definitely attainable. And this gamification is that calling. It's that calling to be more accountable, enjoy the accountability process more by being rewarded for your initial actions, which normally on the goal-seeking process, you won't be rewarded as easily. The second is development and accomplishment. So that comes to the reward process and how the rewards will be set in. Right now, I'm thinking kind of a simple level bar, with specific, if we're niching into specific things like fitness or coding, specific XP gains for, let's say with coding, specific languages maybe. Let's say with fitness, it could be specific muscle groups. And then there's the third one, which is empowerment of creativity and feedback. So I was thinking about this a bit more, and I think some form of questing process would be really intriguing to kind of allow that creativity, and then the user themselves can respond to the quests that they receive and which ones they like, they don't like, and maybe that will set them on a path of kind of a quest route in a way. Yeah, that's cool. And four is ownership and possession. And this is another thing I'm thinking, which may not be viable for the MVP, but some form of pet or plant, something that grows alongside you when you complete your mini goals, let's say, which is just the schedule that you set for yourself with the fitness. You set 3 times a week and you hit those 3 times a week. You grow a pet alongside this journey. That'll be interesting, but maybe not part of the MVP. 5 is social influence and relatedness. This comes to the competition aspect, and this comes to just adding friends, being able to go through these quests maybe, and these just goal events, XP, showing off your XP to friends, and just battling against each other on the path of your own greatness. 6 is scarcity and impatience. So this one feels a bit more ambiguous to me. I kind of want this app to really be useful for the individual, but I can see the importance of kind of scarcity and patience, because you think about rewards from a boss, right? You want to do a boss over and over again because you really want that reward, which is scarce. Not many people have it. So maybe there'll be a loot sort of system, maybe a random roll where maybe some charity donations come in. I'll have to think about that one more. And then there's unpredictability and curiosity. I think the questing process and maybe a loot box system will really empower that. There's also loss and avoidance. Loss and avoidance is a bit more interesting and tricky to implement, because maybe it's a decline in a certain stat. Maybe it's a complete makeover where you have to go from the ground up. I don't know if it'll be that extreme. I think what is glaringly more obvious is if it's fitness, the kind of normal insights from research, I think, is around 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, muscle starts deteriorating, denaturing. I don't think that's the right word, but deteriorating is good enough. So yeah, I think that is the fleshed out gamification idea. Hopefully that sounds intriguing to you guys, but I would love your user feedback. For now, there's a Google form that's linked in the bottom, which isn't showing the MVP currently because I haven't coded it, but it's got some initial questions, and if there will be intrigue, I really want to just get that front end done so that I can just kind of attach alongside a simple user interface, which can be evaluated and mocked up and questioned by each user as well. So yeah, that's where we're kind of at with idea 1. We're going from here. Plenty things to learn. I mean, we got just coding side, React.js, then we got Django for backend development, then actually picking the database. You got MongoDB, or maybe even learning SQLite, so that might be SQL there. Yeah, there's quite a few hurdles to overcome, so it might be a learning month, which is really not ideal, but if I can get the front-end user interface out there and just kind of evaluate it against, that'd be really, really nice. Hopefully by the end of next week, I would love if there's some form of app that is portrayable within the Google form, an MVP, one that shows simple leveling, input form that you can put your schedule into it, or your mini goals. So let's say 3 gym sessions per week, 3 sports sessions per week, whatever it may be. But yeah, I think hopefully by the end of next week, if a simple MVP like that could be introduced, that'd be amazing. I want to end this video with some final remarks of just pure gratefulness for this journey. I'm so thankful for this position. I keep looking away because I actually had all these ideas came to me in the morning of today, actually. I'll maybe share a little clip of it where it's a bit maybe delirious and a bit too excited from a conversation I had with a friend yesterday. It just kind of motivated me to understand the bliss of this reality that I'm in, just kind of reminding me of how amazing and lucky of a position I am in. And I just don't know, I went to bed quite early, to be fair, but I just woke up, and usually I can sleep 24 hours in a day, but that I just tried to just lie in bed, 20 minutes. It was around 4 o'clock, and then no, my body was like, go work, and I was like, okay, mate, if you're going to tell me to, I'm going to do it. And then I just kind of hopped onto the laptop, tried to learn some React.js, but anyway, sidetracking. Coming back to the main point of gratefulness, the main thing I want to stress is how kind of lucky I am to have it's almost like a gap year where I'm doing something I really am excited to do, and I feel that will be meaningful for me in the future. So that's number one tick, to have a purpose in a way. I want to create some form of value to my user base or customers, and effectively that's what I'm seeking, a value-based business model. It will be so ideal. And then just even with my private life and free time and my friends, I've been able to do that as well. Maybe that's why I'm not going to, through these 12 startups, make some form of, $10 million company, maybe not even a $1 million company. But I think I'm going to learn a lot through these 12 startups, but not at the cost of my own private life. Of course, there will be some things I can't pursue and those sorts of things, but I've been able to meet my friends, play the badminton I want to play, enter the conversations that I always enjoy having, and I'm so happy about that. Obviously, I haven't gone on nights out or these sorts of things, but I don't crave that. I had my uni days. That's in the past. I say this, but I'm going to friends within Bristol at the end of this month to celebrate someone's birthday. But these are rarities. Most of my excursions or outings will be in the day, just playing badminton and discussing. And I love it. I'm so fortunate. I'm so glad to be on this journey. But I do recognise that this opportunity that I have, I need to make the most of it so that hopefully in the future, this is my ideal goal. One day, this opportunity can be passed on to a lot more people than just myself. Life is unfair, and I've definitely lucked out on the seesaw of life, I guess. Is that a good analogy? Maybe not. But I hope in the future I can really bring a business model, because fundamentally it will have to be a business model. Maybe a non-profit or something, but it will have to generate enough value to bring back capital, I guess, to justify its own entity. Okay, I'm rambling now. But basically what I mean is, in the future I would love to be able to give back and do something where my efforts are tangibly improving people's lives. That's so ideal to me. That's why this e-commerce journey just fell apart quite quickly. Even though it's good income, good capital, it's just not ideal. It's not the future for me, and it's not the future for Avini. But on this grateful note, I have to thank the two people who really have allowed me to be in this situation, and I'm once again so grateful, because many parents would just be like, go away, what are you doing? And just, you're doing nothing. Like right now I'm getting a little bit of income from this e-commerce journey, but nothing from the other startups, and I'm just waffling, I'm rambling, I'm chasing these dreams of mine which no one can really see, right? So these two, it's quite obvious, these two are my parents. They sacrificed a lot for a child who didn't even exist at a certain point in time of their life. I'm very grateful. And this was kind of the main premise of the ending part of the conversation I had with my friend yesterday. You're so lucky. I'm not talking everyone watching this video, of course, but me and definitely my friend, we have been so fortunate. I mean, I went to a private school, my secondary school. I went to a state school, my first, and I remember going from that state school and being like, why are you taking me away from my friends? I wanted to go to Impington, which was where everyone else was going at the time. But I look back on it and I'm very grateful. The kind of culture and hard-working mentality of most of the people in the school, right? No, homeworks, if you did do homeworks, yeah, you can be a bit cool and say, oh, I didn't do a homework, but the norm was to do the homework. It wasn't the norm to just, bun school. Saying it like that is, yeah. But to just sod off school and just not give a fuck about it, that was not rewarded. It was a real show of everyone around you really cares about their education, and I think that was quite important for my future and my kind of upbringing, because I'm quite a competitive person, I believe, and I think that's why probably my maths got so much better. I was around people who were guns, proper guns, okay? Let's put it that way. But yeah, apart from schooling, they ensured that I was always eating, although I'm not the tallest lad in the world, because another problem of mine, I was a bratty kid, very snobby, obnoxious. But anyway, my life story can come another time maybe. I think this is more about them. I have to thank them for pretty much everything I have, and I'm going to trampoline off their sacrifices, their hard work, and they can enjoy now. Just don't worry, Avini will be a household name. Come on. They're 12 and 12. Come on, one of you have to work, right? One of yous has to work. Alright, Take care, and I hope you go on this journey, not just listening to me babble on and maybe not work myself. I want you guys to complete this, hopefully improve it upon yourself, and eventually talk about this app too. No, I'm kidding. But if you can work on this journey yourself, that would be the most ideal. Good luck, guys. Good luck me, and good luck to future me. We can do this. Bye bye.